Hello, hello! My name is Seth Estrada, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, you're probably on my YouTube channel, Seth Estrada, and if you're watching it on BitTube, then you're on Mind Your Biz. Feels good to say that. Another great day in BitTube land, and as an individual contributor to that platform, I highly encourage you, if you're another content creator, highly encourage you to get on board and start contributing original, exclusive content to that platform. Trust me, it's going to pay off in the long run. Being an early adopter of certain technologies just makes sense. Hey, we're all in crypto, so I don't really think I need to do a lot of convincing there. But let me talk to you about Big Baby, the update. You'll notice I got a ton of boxes and crap just stuffed back there, but you'll notice also the sound is not too loud, right? So I've been able to effectively cut several decibels from the noise level of these Delta fans that are inside the Baby Bones case. And what do I have inside of it? Still the same 4-card but dual GPU configuration. So it's the dual GPU Polaris cards that I've shown you before. They're hashing away very happily. I've been doing some tests with Ethereum Classic, been doing some tests with Monero, and then most recently been doing some tests with another coin, but that's for another time. And I'll tell you probably in our Discord server. I made note of what the Discord server is down below. Sir John, good to see you in the comments, man. We've got a lot of catching up to do because there's been a lot of talk recently about Canary Coin, the current state of Canary Coin, and what's next by way of mining, right? Proof of work mining is under assault. We know this. It's under assault from many different angles, right? So yeah, nails, guys. Let me just go on record here saying this is the dull side of a nail. Frankly, this is more of a danger to my thumb when I try to use a large hammer to put it back in place than it is to my head. But I'm also going to take my hands off there. Scott's asking, what's my electric cost? I'm doing about 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour here because that's actually the residential rate here. Pretty cool, right? So 9.5 cents here at home. I'm not too worried about running this. I'm running it profitably. I think delivered, I'm probably going to wind up, it's probably going to pan out to somewhere between 12 and 14 cents, but I'm still profitable at 12 to 14 cents here. So it's kind of funny that I'm getting kind of middle of the road costs here. That said, what I'm interested in doing here is kind of more figuring out how to get this little corner fully conditioned and get additional power fully run. Make sure that I have this really properly set up for a home server closet, including for AION render, any of the other systems that I want to be able to work on here. So Jeremy's saying taxes add up on electricity. Totally agreed. Totally agreed. But the base rate here for residential is under 10 cents. So delivered, it's going to be a bit more. I know that. Delivered, it's always a bit more. So it doesn't matter. Here's another kind of key, guys. If you're shopping different markets for electricity rates and you talk to the utility and they say, oh yeah, our electricity is 3.5 cents per kilowatt hour. Always ask them what the total cost is delivered, right? The demand charge, peak charges. Is there a seasonal charge, right? Is there a seasonal high and a seasonal low? Because there's daily peak charge and then there's daily off-peak rate, especially here in the United States, right? There are 15 different ways for them to essentially lie to you about what the rate is. Essentially, kind of like pull the wool over your eyes. Jeremy gives a really great example here in the comments. Jeremy P says, I get 8.5 cents before tax, and then after tax, delivered, it's 10 cents per kilowatt hour. I totally get it, which is why I know that the roughly 9.5 cents that I'm being told is going to be more. It's probably going to be between 12 and 14, depending on total demand. Man, have I got the Carlos Matos thing going on? I'm doing the baritone thing, aren't I? I'm doing the podcast thing right now. Because everyone's like, hey, hey, hey. Anyway, guys, hey, 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 back to you. Right back in the comments. But let's talk about Big Baby over here. Let's talk about the home mining update. You'll notice I've got a couple of different strategies going on here. Let's talk about each one of them very briefly, give you a quick update on what's working and what's not. And this is a kludge because I just haven't gone to the hardware store yet. I'm walking distance to the office, so I've been really lazy about going to the hardware store. I'm actually walking distance to a hardware store as well, but it's not the full service hardware store that I would go to get insulation. It's more for like literally just hardware pieces. So nuts, bolts, fixtures, some tools, limited tools, not a lot of heavy duty tools, but it's kind of a corner, it's kind of a neighborhood hardware store, which is awesome. I love that I live in a neighborhood where that's still a thing, that still exists, but a small independent hardware store. Oh my gosh! T-Bone, thank you so much for that super chat. Saying, hey, 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 got 10 bones Canadian. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. That means so much. And I sincerely hope that we're getting your GPU rig up and running right. I've got some feedback for you based on my tests over here as well. So we'll talk over in the Discord server more about that. But right now, let's talk about this little mining closet, this little mining corner, and what's been working. So I'm going to flip this camera around. You can see what I'm seeing, and I'll just kind of chat about what it is that we're going over. Guys, what's been working has been, here we go. So these boxes, this one down here has multi-chamber, sort of multi-chamber corrugate in between, and it's storage for some other GPUs that I have. Hey T-Bone, thanks so much for calling out the like button, guys. Again, if you haven't already liked, definitely appreciate those likes. Appreciate those subscriptions. Appreciate you sharing this link out across Twitter and all of your social media so other people can enjoy what we're talking about, and we can kind of spread some of the mentorship, right? If you've heard me talk about, if you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it a million times. In the Mind Your Biz Discord server, at least, and in the Mind Your Biz community, we make an effort to be the mentors that we wish we had. So it means a lot when you share. All right, let me flip this back around. Let's talk about this. This is some of our winter clothing, so it'll be coming out a little bit, but it was kind of hanging out over there in the basement in storage. And I was like, well, you know, while I'm waiting to get off my butt and go over to the hardware store to get proper insulation to kind of noise-proof this a little bit, why don't I go ahead and grab that box? Because that's some really good, dense baffling right there. Right? We got knit clothing, we got beanies, got jackets, all kinds of stuff we're going to bust out as the weather gets cooler. But until then, it's just in storage. And it's really good baffling for noise reduction, right? So we can, because you don't need to worry so much about the echo. People have been saying, hey, use some egg crate or egg crate or eggshell foam and put that in there. That's going to help decrease some of the echo, but that's not the primary problem here. The primary problem here is the high frequency delta fans. And then the mid frequency that really travels through the house, right? The low frequency is not so loud that it's going to rumble through the house. And the cement is going to cut a lot of that rumble. It would have to be really loud rumble for it to rumble all the way through the house. But the high frequency fans, that high pitch really carries. And it carries through walls, and it carries through, even through multiple sheets of drywall. You can really hear that stuff. It's like hearing somebody shriek. That's why humans shriek loud, right? That's why we hear women, a damsel in distress. We hear them, ah, from far away, because that high frequency really carries. So same with these fans. Hey, Faded, thanks for saying hello in the comments, man. Always appreciate you moderating. So right here, guys, we've got a few different strategies. Let's talk a little more about it. One, we've got the winter clothing in a box, right? The cardboard helps, but the winter clothing helps more as internal baffling to cut down that mid to high frequency whine, right, from the fans, from the delta fans. Again, you can hear me speaking just fine. I'm not even being particularly loud, but you can hear me just fine, right? And there's a mining rig right behind this stack of boxes. Pretty awesome. So, right up here, we had toilet paper just staged and waiting for us to go put into the bathroom. But if we had, say, like paper towels or any other paper goods that are high density with multiple folds, again, it's really good baffling. So I just stacked up what was already stacked up in the basement just over there. I just stacked it up over here instead. However, I left a little bit of space right here for a cold air inlet, because clearly the coldest air here in the basement is going to travel to the bottom of the room. And left this window open just a tiny bit so that we get cold air coming in. Pete's saying, mining has me eating ramen noodles. Here's the thing. Ramen would actually make a pretty decent kind of baffling over here because of the shape, right? So it would cut some of the echo, and it should cut some of this mid to high end frequency as well. So if you're eating ramen, stack your ramen in front of your miners, right? I mean, it's poetic justice, right? If mining is forcing you to eat ramen, make ramen force your miners to decrease the noise. I don't really, I'm just kind of like, I'm riffing off that one. And you guys got people asking about showing the rig. Let me just show you a couple more things here. Inside of this, my wife had a bunch of old handbags, purses that she really likes. But again, it's folded leather. Also going to cut a lot of the mid to high end frequency. Like if you were to take a catcher's mitt and you were to put it in front of your mouth and just scream, "Ah!" it would cut a lot of sound, right? Cut a lot of decibels. That's the truth. That's true of these purses as well. Some of them are leather, some of them are pleather, right? They're different kinds of vinyl and such, but they're going to do the same thing with all those folds inside of that box. And then up top, I've got terry cloth, but not just one layer. I've got this one that's folded over twice, and then this one that's folded back around twice. Terry cloth is one of the best possible kinds of baffling to cut decibels. Not cut echo, cut decibels, right? So there's a difference. If you want to just cut echo, you can use egg crate foam, right? Eggshells or egg crates, like literal egg crates. If you buy your eggs in bulk, right? Either by the 5 dozen, which we do as a family, or if you buy them in the 18 count, right? Dozen and a half count egg crates. You can just fold those open and you can put those across the wall. Those will cut echo because of the shape. It'll cut the sound waves and it'll break up the echo pattern, but it will not decrease decibels. It won't decrease noise. Scott is saying get insulation foam. I could do that. I think fiberglass would be the ideal. Fiberglass is still kind of the standard in terms of actually cutting decibels. But what I'm saying is right now, guys, while I've been shuffling to the office and not able to just go to the hardware store and, whatever, going to bed at 3 a.m. because I've been working on other projects, been tending to shop.mineyour.biz, been sourcing new materials. Joseph, good to see you in the comments. Been focusing on working with new suppliers because we are creating Big Baby HPC. We're creating, right now, we're in talks to create our own custom HPC motherboard that would fit into an appliance a bit like Big Baby. I know, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that I'm focused on. So the last thing that I was focused on was going to the hardware store, getting insulation, and then trying to jimmy rig this with available stuff over at the hardware store. So I thought, what do I have right here that's just gonna get the job done? My wife complained to me about the noise, and if she complains even once, that means she's been thinking about it a lot. So I thought, okay, what can I do to quickly solve this problem? Again, boxes with winter clothes, boxes with old leather material in them, and then a box with that already has a bunch of corrugate baffling internally. And now the terry cloth up top. Terry cloth is actually the hero of this whole scenario that you see behind me, because terry cloth you can get at any dollar store, right? Or go to a salvage shop, or go to any place that sells terry cloth. Now I'm not talking about just typical shop rags. I mean, it has to actually be terry cloth. Let me show you some texture here. It has to actually be terry cloth with the really, there you go. That's high. That's actually high surface area right there. With all those little fingers that pull up off of the terry cloth, there's a ton of surface area for sound waves to be broken up on, right? So I'm not going to get too deep into the science of the thing because I'm not going to pretend to be like an acoustical engineer. But I did work in sound recording long enough and in sound mixing, rather than live production long enough, to be able to test this kind of stuff, know how to use a decibel meter, understand oh, hey, that really cut noise, right? So that cuts a lot of noise, and just per square foot, it's cheaper than anything else you can get. Anything. Closed cell foam, insulation, batting, spray-in insulation, anything. So as just a quick hack, terry cloth will do. And if I had to just hang terry cloth from ceiling to floor, I could probably do that and be very happy with the results in terms of sound deadening. Now, in terms of creating a really good fixed barrier that I can then do ducting with, right? Get into the HVAC component of creating a negative pressure corner, which is what I want to do ultimately. Terry cloth is not going to do, right? It can be a component, but I'm going to have to go with composite building materials, right? I'm going to have to put some kind of wood or other barrier up to make sure that there's good rigidity for that negative pressure door. We'll get to that, but right now, this is what I got. So guys, let me show you, flip this around. So, and Sir John calls out a really great component in the comments as well, mass-loaded vinyl. So it's actually MLV, mass-loaded vinyl. Just sorry to correct you there. But mass-loaded vinyl is the ideal. Mass-loaded vinyl is what's used in automotive sound deadening. But it comes at a cost, right? Mass-loaded vinyl, and I get it, it's typo. Honest mistake could happen to anybody. But let me just set the record straight. Mass-loaded vinyl is what's used both in automotive sound deadening as well as some construction. You can get sheetrock that already has some sound deadening property to it, but mass-loaded vinyl is usually what you would do to retrofit, because just getting that sheetrock is really actually expensive versus Scott. Thanks, man. That's a high compliment coming from you, man. I really appreciate that. Coming from any miner to be called a MacGyver, thank you. I received that compliment. Thank you so much. And yes, if you're asking, do I like MacGyver? Yes, I love MacGyver. And every miner should. But if you're comparing me to MacGyver, I'm flattered. But guys, mass-loaded vinyl is going to cut a significant amount of the sound, the noise. And you can get it in either 1 pound per square foot, or you can get it in 2 pounds per square foot, imperial pounds per square foot. And hey, Ox, thanks so much for saying hello in the comments. But guys, mass-loaded vinyl would be the ideal. Springmeister, good to see you in the comments as well. Mass-loaded vinyl would be the perfect thing, and I could drape that, and I could put it on the back side of any kind of like plywood barrier or anything else if I'm doing, again, that negative pressure room. But again, here's the hack. I can get as much sound deadening from terry cloth, enough layers of terry cloth. T-Boy, hello, good evening from across the pond. I can get enough sound deadening from layers of terry cloth that it would replace the mass-loaded vinyl. And square foot per square foot, the terry cloth, I'm going to get it at about a quarter of the cost. Roughly. 1/4 of the cost. So, mass-loaded vinyl is the professional's choice, but we're talking about miners, guys. Who are we kidding? Are we professionals? No. No, we're not. We're not professionals at soundproofing. We just need to make it good enough so that our wife stops complaining and we can all get some sleep. Right? Right. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Got these boxes, kind of a kludge. We already talked about that. We'll move this one out of the way. And now, you're starting to hear it a little more, right? The noise is coming through. There's also air coming through here, and I left a little channel up top for the air to blow past the terry cloth. That's where it comes in handy. It's almost like a doggy door, right? On the back side of your house, where it's or like the louver that goes, the little louvered exit from your clothes dryer, right? It's going to allow that hot air to blow out, but still cut a lot of the noise. So that's why I left it there for now. We might do something different later on, but right now, until I, get off my lazy butt, stop focusing on all the other stuff, this is going to be good enough because it cuts enough of the sound. We're getting good sleep. And down below, I'm going to have to flip this around. I'm going to actually have to turn on a light, I think. Does my flashlight work while I'm recording? No! Aw, man. Let's see. Oh yeah, flash. There we go. Sweet. So there's Big Baby, and Big Baby is oriented entirely on its side. And mining, you can see right now, no ASICs for right now. Those are my H110 boards, and I'm going to fully populate one of those. Not both. I won't be fully populating both of those. I will likely be using one of the H110 boards just for experiments back at the office. So that said, I've got these dual GPUs. All the dual GPUs will go onto that H110 board. So, and I've only got 6 of those here. So that'll be like 12 RX 470s plus 7 more slots still on the same board. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's good mining economics personally. So I'm going to stick with that for right now. Flip this back around, guys, and just kind of show you. Okay, get that flash back on. But Big Baby, the intake is down at the bottom, and then the vents are up on top. And just because of that one optimization, when I did that one optimization, guys, it's the simplest airside optimization to turn your rigs sideways. Voltron, thanks for saying hello in the comments. But to turn your rigs sideways and allow the cold air intake to be at the bottom and the hot air to go out of the top, all you're doing is helping physics do its own darn job. Right? Thermodynamics, right? Fluid, hot gases, hot fluids they seek a greater altitude, right? They always rise. So when we just help it along, we help physics along, I noticed a decrease. Mining is asking, is there fresh air coming in? Yes, there is. So there's a little inlet at the bottom of the closet. So there's always fresh air coming in, and it's always cycling air through that closet with no supplemental fans. None at all. And if I can avoid having supplemental fans until I need to go negative pressure and start really pulling hot air out of there, I'm not going to add supplemental fans. When we get to that point where it's like, no, this is really, we have to do something different, then maybe I will, possibly. But I believe that what we're going to find is just because of the thermals of this room, that the cold air is always going to naturally seek the intake down below, and the hot air is going to blow out of there, and from that location, it's going to seek the stairwell and move up into the main, the common areas of the house. So I'm very happy with the way it's set up right now. But again, just having the miner turned on its side, with Big Baby, it's easy, right? Because it's got the inner crossbar that secures all of the GPUs. So I can turn it on its side without any worries, and then the hot side is top side now. That closet right now, if I just left it at that and I staged various heights so that the cold air intake could reach everything, I could throw, approximately 10 or so of the Baby Bones units in there, just like that, before I start having problems. Now, if I need supplemental PSUs, oh, Brandon Coin, man, it's great to see you. It's been so long. Thank you so much for the super chat. And it keeps on mentioning some other thing, and I don't know what it is. This is the second time you've invoked that particular catchphrase. And I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. I wish I did. But guys, I could fit about 10 of these baby bones right there. And Mining is asking how much power per baby. Right now, because I've only got 4 of those dual GPU cards in there, which is approximately 8 cards that are drawing about as much as a Mining Edition RX 470 or a GTX 1060 would. I'm doing below a kilohash. So, yeah, Brandon, we'll chat, man. We gotta catch up. It's been a little while. But you know I miss your face, man. You know I love your face. Mining community is too small not to love each other's faces. So thanks for saying hello. Appreciate it. And thank you for the super chat. So yeah, turning it sideways, I'm getting far better thermals, guys. Far better. And it's not passive. It's not fully passive. But it's definitely helping things to move along a lot better. And hey, Christian, thank you for saying hello in the comments. But that cold air is going in, hot air is being pushed out. The terry cloth is allowing it, like a doggy door or like a louvered, a louvered exit chamber, to just hot air to just blow right out without the noise coming out. Much nicer. Philip, thanks for saying hello in the comments as well. But guys, that's the update. That's how it's configured right now. I have to put some additional routing gear over there to make sure that I've got a little 4-port switch that I'm going to put in here, because I for the near term I don't imagine that I'm going to put in more than 4 or maybe 5 systems, five hosts, but they're going to be high density hosts, right? Like the H110 motherboards where I've got 13 GPUs. So Philip, you're going to have to check the replay. I apologize because we're going on about 23 minutes right now, but it's covered in junk. To prove a point, we talked about sound deadening techniques before. You can still hear it back there. It's quite loud without just a couple of those little boxes in the way. We talked about sound deadening techniques before, and they're all valid, right? So spray in foam insulation, using the fiberglass rolls of insulation, using closed cell foam board, using a lot of the other stuff that we all talked about, sound deadening sheetrock. It's all valid. But that would be me buying my way out of a problem for which there's a free solution. As mining. Hey, ramen! Dude! Fadad! Yes! If you have ramen lying around, literally stack it from floor to ceiling. It'll work better. It'll probably work better than closed cell foam. Depending on the type of closed cell foam it is, it'll probably work better. One thing you want to avoid, though, is grabbing box springs or mattresses. They actually don't have as much sound deadening capability as you'd think, depending on the style. So most of them, not so great. Not so great at covering up that sound. But guys, we talked about all the other stuff. Christian is saying that Big Baby needs some acorns. You know, I agree. But I have to get the Big Baby HPC model running first. If I don't have an HPC model, I won't have enough PCI Express bandwidth to accommodate the Acorn's needs. Acorn is actually quite bandwidth hungry. Now, it's not too power hungry, but it is very bandwidth hungry. So, so this one right now, we is asking about current hash rate on this system. It's like what you would expect from 8 GTX 1060s or 8 RX 470s. So depending on the algorithm that you're mining, let me just compare this more to like 8 RX 470s. That's kind of the hash rates that I'm getting. So we're looking at nearly 8 kilohash on Monero, and or just shy of 8 kilohash on Monero, which is nice. At really low temps and at really low power consumption. So I'm very bullish on Monero right now with this system. And then some other coins as well that I'm mining for community purposes. Now, if you've been in the Mine Your Biz Discord server recently, then you probably know what that community purpose is. Equihash, not so much. Sorry, no. Not so much Equihash lately. Yeah. Yeah, sorry Bitcoin Gold, sorry Bitcoin Private, sorry all the other ones. Yeah, so. Yeah, Jeremy P is saying, mainline Equihash is ASIC controlled. N Mining said something about getting like $1 a day on this. Here's the thing, I'm not viewing it in that way. Not for this, not the coin that I'm mining. I'm viewing it very, very differently. I'm viewing it as collateral, if that helps kind of clue you in to what I'm doing here. I'm viewing it as collateral for something else. So if you are only viewing it in terms of the baseline profit per day, well, first off, kudos, you are running it like a business. You are thinking about your mining like a business. That's important. However, if you're looking at it as though it's collateral for something else. So I think Christian is asking, since when does NVIDIA do as well as AMD on Monero? I don't know who you're asking that question, because I mentioned that this is like RX 470s. So that's why I'm mining Monero. I didn't see anybody else contest that that NVIDIA is as good as AMD on Monero, because frankly, it's not. We all know that it's not the right platform to mine Monero. Yes, T-Bone, the stink eye, but it's the loving stink eye because I still love Christian's face. No, this is not a dual 1060. Hey, that's a great question. I apologize. So I didn't realize there was some confusion there. So let me be more clear. These are dual Polaris cards, so they're dual AMD cards. And they do quite well on Monero. They do quite well on BitTube. Of course, any Kryptonite variant, they're doing quite well. So yeah, I'm excited about that. But then what Ed Mining asked before, like $1 a day, like, yeah, you could view it that way. And I think that would be a healthy way of viewing it. But I'm doing short sprints to gain collateral for different projects. I'll put it that way. That's how I'm mining right now at home. And that's why I don't have everything here. I'm doing short sprints at the office too. I'm mining Monero on CPU even when I've got downtime, right? Overnight. I got a little, we'll just say that it's timed so that when I leave the office, CPUs are all doing Monero with available clocks, with available cycles on free power while I'm out at low cost, right? So it's all free processing there. Have I created a botnet at work? No, not yet. Yeah, not yet. You're giving me ideas, N Mining. You're giving me bad ideas. I probably should stop the live stream right now before I say something incriminating. All right, guys, that's the update. I hope that helped answer some questions right now. I should also let you know I'm running this on 120 volts. I probably should actually run that 240 volt circuit because I can, right? I've got the box right here. So I'm going to be getting some PDUs so I can run proper 220, 240, right? Possibly even step down to 208 because that's, yeah, that might be a better option. But again, it's laziness, guys. It's laziness. The power consumption is there. It's fine for the experiment right now. I wanted to test sound deadening, and I've still got some experiments to do back at the office with the cards that I have there at the moment before I make that change. So anyway, is it lazy? Probably. It's probably laziness. I'm sorry. Yeah. All right, guys. That's the update. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you hitting that like button. I appreciate you being subscribed. Yeah, I know the 240 is more efficient, and I'll get there. But for right now, again, I'm mining collateral, and I'm doing this just step by step. Again, as we've seen with acorns, guys, right? Stuff just ships when it ships. I've got open orders for baby bones that I can't fulfill because of China Day over in China. The entire country has been on holiday for like it feels like for forever, right? It's not going to be over till at the end of this week. So there's stuff that from shop.mineyour.biz that I'm like, please get delivered. Just like fingers crossed, biting my nails, and so you know, stuff just happens as fast as it can happen. And right now, I figured, okay, just because some other things are delayed doesn't mean I can't just be innovative. Pick up literally piece of trash from across the basement and deaden the sound. So, you know, think outside the box. Think inside the old garage and basement boxes, maybe is what I'm saying. And yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for hitting that like button. Thanks for being subscribed. You know you're the reason I make these videos, right? I love your face. Check us out down in Discord. And shameless plug, if you haven't checked it out already, go to shop.mineyour.biz. We're always adding cool new stuff. All right, guys. I love your face. I'll see you in the next one.